Okay then, welcome to round one. So this is round one of the GT3 Sprint Series by Slip and Grip Sim Racing. And this evening we are at Portimao in the Algarve region. Not a circuit that's a very common one, shall we say, but certainly is popular with GT racing and racing on the continent. Just not one that we regularly visit. Certainly one that I don't know any of the corner names, and I'll probably struggle to keep up because a few of these little complexes look very, very similar. Anyway, good evening. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Let me know if you've got comms in the chat. We are just sat waiting for the guys to go out for qualifying, which has just started. So let's switch on the leaderboard. Has everyone had a good week so far? It's Tuesday evening. Did you all enjoy the Grand Prix at the weekend, the British Grand Prix? Well done to Nico Hulkenberg, finally getting that podium that he's waited so long for. So 9 minutes to go then. It's a short and quick qualifying this evening. So we're going to have a qualifying session, the first race. We'll then have another qualifying session for race 2. Now this is sort of a limitation at the moment for the way we have to organise the servers. Hopefully this might change in the future, but for now it is 2 qualifying sessions. Hello in the chat. So a couple of guys putting their money on Ogra. So Gabriel Ogra, I think that's his partner, cheering him on there. And then a bit of self-promotion from Josh Copeland. But then he says he'll probably crash. So mixed emotions from Josh there. Doesn't sound the most confident, does it? We're currently looking at Wesley Beekhouse in the Lamborghini. All of the guys currently on an out lap. When they have set a lap, you will see whether the little dash is at the moment. Some of them say pit if they're still in the pits. That will come up with the delta to the leader. Now I think we've got 20 cars, I want to say, maybe 19. So actually that 20th you see there is not actually in the server, so I think that's because of the way these sign-ups work. So just 19 drivers in here at the moment, so you'll have to forgive how the display is there. All the guys just coming round to start their fast lap, so they've done a warm-up lap out of the pits, all going through sector 1 now. So we've got a fan of Aaron Sterrett, #1 fan in the chat, Chris 22EU, bit of a mouthful that one. And as we just watched Wesley go off the circuit though, so he's ruined his first effort. Let's just, who's setting the quickest first sector time? It looks like it's Matti Zenko, the 22.838 for the first sector. You can see the boxes in the right hand side. We think these have been approved this week. We did do a practice event last week and these sectors weren't working very well, but that should show his sector times, and where it says no time in purple, that will eventually say the target lap time, so that would be the pole or current pole position lap time. So he's had a good first sector and he just comes around to finish, so a 38.018 for the middle sector, which is also a very good sector too. So we'll jump on board with Matty for the rest of this lap, see how he handles the rest of this circuit. So just this tight right-hander down the hill. This circuit has lots of undulation, and then it's into this never-ending right-hander, so it's really fast, pretty much flat out I think in the GT3 cars. Maybe not, there's definitely a lift there, so as they go over the crest they're having to lift. It really hammers the tyres on the left-hand side, so he comes across the line. Let's see what it is. 1:45.735, so a 1:46.592, which takes Matty, as he takes a lot of curb there into turn 1. That takes him into P1 for now, so we'll keep an eye on who can challenge that time at the front. Currently looking at the sector times, nobody able to match that 38.0 first sector. And actually Matty Zenko is, sorry, that was sector 2, is gone even quicker, I think, in that first sector. 22.6. So it says he's quicker than his best, but I'm not sure that's correct, to be honest. Let's have a look at somebody else. Jonathan Howlis. Apologies if I do get any mispronunciations on names. So currently in second position in the 60 car. It looks like he's backed out of this one. Quite possibly. Unless that was just the really slow braking point that we just joined him there. So he comes round to finish the lap. So over the crest as the car bounces over the crest. See the sparks coming from the front of the car as that bottoms out as well. Let's see if he is actually on a quick lap. He's actually down to 4th now. You'll see in the table on the left hand side. Is this lap any better? No, so I think that was a bit of a warm-up lap for this next push lap. Got Lloyd Reed on pole at the moment, who's just been beaten by Matty Zenko as he just crosses the line on a 1:55.386. So currently got half a second back to Lloyd Reed in the Lamborghini in second place, then Wesley Beekhouse in third in the other Lamborghini, then Jonathan in another Lamborghini. So are we all in Lamborghinis tonight? Let's have a look. More Lamborghinis. Samuel in the McLaren. We've then got Darren Tickner in another McLaren, and Andrew Wellborn in the Aston Martin. Harrison Fulton going round in the McLaren. Then got Sam Wooldridge, whose custom livery is working this evening, I'm pleased to say. Yeah, nice livery on the 397 car, so we're just looking at that car now. We do have the custom liveries working, but we did have to subscribe for that, ladies and gentlemen, which is a bit of a travesty. But it's nice to have some custom liveries out there. Just break it up a bit. Last week it was lots of the same liveries. So Josh Copeland in 12th, Aaron Sterrett in 13th, Jonathan Lowe in a Lamborghini in 14th, Gabriel Ogre currently 15th. We'll see if we can improve from there. Troy Fry in 16th in the BMW, and then Jory Van Dongen in another Lamborghini. So the Lamborghini very popular at the moment in GT3s, it seems. Craig Fulton in a Corvette, and then Marco Kuman in another Lamborghini, and Adam Foster in 20th in the McLaren. Incidentally, if you want to check out Aaron Foster's stream, you can get it at the link, which I will stick in the chat right now. So if you want to jump on board with Adam Foster, you can click the link in the chat and ride on board with him. He's got a driver cam on as well. Only 1:42 to go, so I've been waffling. So what have we got at the front? We've got Matty Zenko from Jonathan in second, only 0.14 between them, and then another 0.15 should I say, back to Wesley in third. So pretty tight for the top 4, only half a second covering the top 4, and then Samuel Wibberley a little bit further back, and then Harrison Fulton, a good showing from him, currently in the pits in 6th, and then Andrew Wellborn trying to keep that car on the track. In practice he had a few spins and it looks like he's trying to battle with this car. Andrew Wellborn been out of the game literally for a few months now while he battled issues with his computer. So he's got a new graphics card, he's managed to get this game working correctly, and I'm sure he's hoping to be troubling the podium this evening. Let's see what he comes across the line with. a 146.223, so that is an improvement, and that takes him up to 5th position on the leaderboard. So he pips Samuel to 5th position. Andrew making good progress. Josh Copeland, sorry, just moving up to 10th position there, but he's jumped back to the pit, so he won't be getting another go there. Who else we got? We've got Wesley Beekhouse in the pits, unable to do anything now. Jonathan still on circuit on a fast lap. Lloyd Reed out on track. Andrew Wellborn still out on track. So all these guys still able to put in another lap. Somebody we haven't really mentioned, Ant Brown in another Lamborghini. We did briefly mention him earlier. So currently on a semi-decent lap. We're missing middle sector times for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but we are missing sector times. So I'm not sure why that is. Because... no, you might get it actually. I'm just seeing it's just taking a while for sector 3 to disappear. It only seems to be showing 2.5 sectors. And as he loses the Lamborghini, he bailed on that lap. So that will be 8th position at best for Ant Brown. Matty Zenko's in the pits as well, so he's gone back to pits. Jonathan's still out there in sector 2. He looks reasonable on pace. Good first sector. Okay, second sector. Sorry, good first sector. Okay, second sector. So we'll see what he comes across the line in a second. Oh, and he's bailed on that lap, so it was obviously no good. Who else we got on a lap? Maybe Lloyd Reed. He's bailed. Andrew Wellborn just crossed the line. Doesn't it improve? Darren Tickner still out on track. He's in sector 3. Will he be able to improve on the 10th position as it stands? Aaron's getting some encouragement in the chat. 14th position is not good enough for Chris 22 EU. He wants more. He wants at least single digits. He's currently in the pits though, so he's not going to get that. Only Darren and Gabriel out on circuit. Gabriel might be just crossing the line now. 16th position as it stands. No improvement for Gabriel, so everybody in pit. So that is your finishing positions. As you can see, we've got Matty Zenko on pole position, then Jonathan Howless second, Lloyd Reed, Wesley Beekhouse, Andrew Wellborn, Samuel that's a mouthful, Samuel Wibberley, Kevin DeHaan in 7th. We didn't see much of him in qualifying. Adam Foster in 8th.
Teams and drivers
Harrison Fulton 9th. Darren Tickner in 10th. Then Ant Brown, Jonathan Lowe, Josh Copeland, Sam Wooldridge, Troy Fry, Aaron Sterrett, Gabriel, and that is it, because the rest... sorry, no, Yuri Van Dongen, Craig Fulton in 19th. So some more encouragement from Andrea for Gabriel in 17th, so he's managed to pip a couple of drivers there, so good session for him. So let's quickly have a look at the starting order. So Matty Zenko on pole, then Jonathan Howless. I know I've just gone through these, but we'll go through them again because the graphics look good. Wesley Beekhouse in 3rd, followed by Lloyd Reed in the other Lamborghini in 4th. Kevin DeHaan in the McLaren, followed by Andrew Wellborn. A good return for him in the Aston Martin GT3. Samuel Wibberley in the McLaren in 7th, followed by Ant Brown in another Lamborghini in 8th. Harrison Fulton 9th, Adam Foster 10th. Check out his stream in the chat. Darren Tickner in 11th, and Josh Copeland in a disappointing, I'd say, 12th position. Sam Wooldridge 13th, and Jonathan Lowe in 14th. Aaron Sterrett 15th in another Lamborghini, and then Gabriel Ogra in the lone Mustang. Yuri Van Donken in 17th, Troy Fry 18th, and then bringing up the rear is Craig Fulton. Sorry, 19th Craig Fulton, and Marco Cumming in 20th. Right, let's get back on to the race. Let's see how this all unfolds. Let's jump to somebody near the sharp end, so we'll focus on Wesley Beekhouse as they roll down the grid. Awesome scenes of that big grid we've got tonight here. So 20 cars on the grid, really good to see. Lots of Lambos, but a Porsche on pole. Matti Zenko, what can he do from the front? Can Jonathan or Wesley do anything from second and third? And can some of the other guys get on the pace?
Green flag.
To challenge these guys at the front. Here we go then, green flag. Good start from Matti Zenko in the Porsche. As they all funnel down into the first couple of corners then, we'll try and keep our eye on what's going on, see if we can pick out any little battles. Looks pretty clean, I would say, so far, as they all stream down to this first hairpin. So there's a big stop into here, so it's 3 wide into the hairpin. Then there's another move up the inside from one of the McLarens. Didn't see who that was exactly, but side by side here for... That's Kevin, Wesley and Lloyd Reed, I think, for second and third position. Matti Zenko out in front with Jonathan clear as well. So Kevin De Haan, Wesley Beekhouse, as we look at here, and Lloyd Reed all battling it out for third position. Third step on the podium. A little bit further back, it looks like we've got through without too much incident. Let's just have a look as they swing through then. So all the cars stream through here for the first time down the hill. All looks nice and bunched up, so we've not had any major incidents as we whiz back to the front to continue this battle for third position. So that's Kevin De Haan in the black and orange McLaren, followed by Wesley Beekhouse in the pink-white Lamborghini, and then Lloyd Reed in the white Lamborghini, then Andrew Wellborn, followed by Ant Brown in another Lamborghini, and then we've got Harrison Fulton, Samuel Wibberley, Adam Foster, Josh Copeland, Sam Wooldridge, Darren Tickner, Jonathan Lowe, Aaron Sterrett, Gabriel, Troy Fry, Yuri Van Dongen, Craig Fulton and Marco Koeman is your top 20. Oh, and that's Ant Brown off in the background, is it? Or is that Wesley? I think that's Wesley Beekhouse in the background. And can we catch him? Yeah, so he's gone off and right to the back. So he's got so much work to do now. He's got it all to do. He's currently just getting past Marco for 18th position. So I think we've lost Darren as well. So he's been in the pits. So maybe a penalty or a drive through there potentially for Darren. We didn't see that on the display. Let's jump back to the front because the gap back from Matti to Jonathan has come down, so he's not being allowed to get away at the front, which is excellent for us as they enter this really tricky braking zone. It's 2 corners, but the first corner is basically a braking zone. As we're on with the heli shots here. So he's followed by Jonathan, and then Kevin De Haan a little further behind in the McLaren. Let's have a quick look on board from him. See the 2 first and second position up front. Just managed to gap Kevin on this lap. As we cycle through the cameras, he's got Lloyd Reed behind us. So he's got a bit of a gap there, so he's in a nice space there for third position for Kevin. Where are the close battles at the moment then? Let's switch over to a relative so we can see where the gaps are. Okay, the white times on the leaderboard, that is gaps between the drivers. So who have we got that's close? We've got Ant Brown looking pretty good in 6th position, so he's made an excellent start from a relatively average, I want to say, qualifying session. I think he was a little bit further down than this in qualifying, so he's right on the tail of Andrew, but Jonathan Lowe as well. Really, really close to the back of Sam Wooldridge in that custom liveried Porsche. These four really, really close, and that's Aaron Sterrett in 13th position, so he's made up at least one place at the start. Be interested to see if he can move forwards. Still close at the front though. This really is a close battle. We'll keep our eye on that battle for 10th position with Josh Copeland, Sam Wooldridge and Jonathan Lowe. But this battle really shaping up nicely at the front. Jonathan currently with the fastest lap, which is a 1:45.82 to Matty's 1:46 flat. So he's looking like he's got good pace here, and he's very, very close down the start-finish straight. See if he makes a move into turn one. He thinks about it, just gets Matty looking in his mirrors, moves slightly to the inside, really putting him under some pressure, using all the road here. Sam Wooldridge really close, a little bit further behind to the back of Josh Copeland. Sorry, there is two Mustangs in this, and another custom livery on that Mustang from Josh. Oh, Josh has got a little bit wide there, and he cuts across the nose of Sam Wooldridge. Sam can't do anything about it. The battle behind them between Jonathan and Aaron, also pretty close. Aaron looking at this battle in front of him, thinking he wants a piece of that. Gap at the front has just opened up a little bit to nearly a second, but it is fluctuating. Adam Foster pretty close to Craig Fulton for 5th. You can see on the timing tower. But this is Sam Wooldridge really hounding the back of Josh Copeland, running teammate liveries. I couldn't tell you if they are teammates, but I'm assuming they are, because they're a bit of understeer from Josh there, and Sam able to take a much tighter line through that slow hairpin. The front of that Porsche being a lot more compliant than this Mustang at the moment. Keeping an eye on the gaps. There's a good little battle behind these guys. All shaping up nicely. Oh, he's very, very close here. As we look back from Josh's Mustang, and he squeezes him really close here. Let's jump off so we can see what's going into turn one. Sam on the outside tries to take a bit of an undercut, can't get it done. That's good driving, good defensive driving from Josh Copeland in the black, purple, orange, blue Mustang. Looks like Adam Sterrett might be taking or having a look behind them, but he doesn't commit. It's really close battles. Oh, and Aaron's having a look. Jonathan leaves the door open, and Aaron goes through into 10th position. Not sure what happened to Jonathan there, but he's now side by side with Amp Brown. So Amp Brown now in front of them, so Jonathan down into 12th position. Meanwhile, Wesley Beekhouse, after that early incident, has made his way up to 13th position, so he's making good progress with 11 minutes and 35 to go. Let's jump back to the leaders. As you were then. At the front, as you see the cars getting well out of shape over that crest. Really nice camera angle there. Gets to show the cars working and how much the cars are actually on the edge. Oh, we've got a good battle here. This is between Adam Foster and Harrison Fulton. So Harrison Fulton in the orange and black McLaren versus Adam Foster in the red and black McLaren, and they're both catching Samuel Whibley, who's a little bit further up into turn one. So Harrison manages to hold on to that position, so he's currently running 5th with Samuel in Harrison Fulton is in the red one. And Adam is in the first orange and black, and then Samuel is at the front of these three in the other black and orange McLaren. Did we just see a mistake there? No, we did not. Not the best TV cameras, to be honest. Okay then, close battles, what have we got? We've got 3/10 at the front. Pretty much as you were. We've then got that Harrison Fulton battle, it's about half a second. We've then got Ant Brown about 0.9 behind Josh Copeland, after he lost that position to Sam Wooldridge, who's managed to open up about a second gap. And then Troy Fry is looking at the back of Gabriel Ogura, so that 14th position, his fan club won't be happy. Oh, a big twitch there from Troy in the BMW, so that's let Gabriel off the hook for a little while. 9.5 minutes to go. Oh, the gap at the front as close as ever, down to 0.2 of a second. So let's stick with this. Again, just moves to the inside just to let Matty know he's there. He actually misses the apex a little bit though, so it might have put himself off more than he did Matty there. But this is really shaping up to be a good race, and it really does bode well for race 2. Let's make sure we've got all the information up there so you can see the current drivers. Apologies if that was missing for the first part of the race. Sam Wooldridge now putting Harrison Fulton under pressure. We saw Harrison Fulton drop into the back of that McLaren battle, and he gets a really poor exit there. So Sam Wooldridge able to really capitalise upon that. Is he going to go for a move? Not through here. Really tricky breakers, but it looks like Harrison's got a bit wide. No, manages to bring the car back in to defend from Sam, and Sam's lost the rear. He's going. He manages to hold it, but he really lost the rear there, and it's some front-end damage, so we've maybe missed an incident earlier on from Sam, but that was very close to going round and facing the wrong way. So Harrison Fulton a little bit off the hook, but he's not managed to gain too much of a gap there. So that was really lucky for Harrison. Jonathan Lowe, 0.8 of a second behind Josh Copeland at the moment, and again Wesley Beekhouse up into 11th position now, so he is making good progress. Troy Fry back on terms with Gabriel for 13th position, and he's also got Ant Brown, who's obviously had that incident earlier on. He's currently in 15th position, so he'll be looking at making short work of Troy in the BMW, and then Gabriel in the orange, sorry, yellow Mustang. Troy just going a little bit wide there. New fastest lap then for Matty Zenko, 1:45.1, so that is considerably quicker than Jonathan in second position. That's 5.5 tenths quicker than the fastest lap from Jonathan. Sam Wooldridge continues to put Harrison under pressure. Harrison a little bit wide. Also got a good battle behind these two, side by side. So this is Jonathan Lowe trying to make a move on Josh Copeland. Josh defends the inside. Lamborghini tries to go around the outside, but it's going to be a demon move from there. And that's Wesley Beekhouse in 11th in the pink and white Lamborghini, trying to pick off both of these guys. So Jonathan goes from being the hunter to the hunted and goes wide there. Is Wesley going to just sneak it up the inside? I think he might. He's got it done. So Wesley then in the pink, white and black Lamborghini moves up to 10th position, and he's going to pick off 9th as well. So Josh just a little bit wide, left the door open there, and Wesley says thank you very much. Josh continues to battle low. He's not done with this position quite yet, making Wesley work for this as much as he can. as they go over the fast crest. So this is going to be really tough battling there. He's squeezing him to the outside, but that Lamborghini is quick in a straight line. What a rocket ship. Josh has to sit in behind the Lamborghini. Loads of curb taken there, so we'll just jump on board for a little while just to try and get a sense of the undulations and the corners around the circuit. And Wesley's gone deep. This is allowing Josh to try and attack around the outside of this fast left. But will he be able to do anything on the exit? He's getting a good run here. He's gone to the inside, and this is a drag all the way down to the hairpin, so he'll be on the inside. Can he get it stopped and give Wesley no choice? That Mustang looks like it really doesn't want to turn. He's having to take the tighter line, and the Lamborghini able to open up that line and just carry more speed, and he takes the inside for the next right. So that's a good bit of racing by both of these guys, and ultimately Wesley taking 9th position. Jonathan Lowe in the Lamborghini looking to capitalise on that. That was a twitch from Josh Copeland. Saw the car getting out of shape there. It's probably one of the closest battles on the circuit at the moment, but we will quickly switch back to Aaron and Gabriel because this one's hotting up as well. Gabriel in the yellow Mustang managing to fend off these two. Ant Brown has got through on these guys, which I think we may have seen, but it was always kind of inevitable with the pace that Ant Brown carries. And these two looking to fight down the main straight. Hang on, there's been a change for 3rd position, so this has really changed around. Lloyd Reed has gone through on Jonathan, and whether there's been an incident, because the gap was significant back to Lloyd the last time I checked, so whether Jonathan and Matizenko got together, looking at the sector times, looks like sector 1 was okay. Sector 3, so it looks like Matizenko had a really slow sector 3, and so did Jonathan. 4 seconds slower than the usual lap time, so they've had an incident. We missed it, but they've had an incident, and that's allowed Lloyd Reed in the 60 Lamborghini to get on terms with these two. That's going to hold Jonathan up because we know they've both got good pace, and might just allow Matizenko to leave at the front. So drama at the front with only 2.5 minutes to go. Probably contact in the last sector, so that'll probably be down into the tight right-hander or over the crest down the start finish. Let's check in with Gabriel. Oh, he's coming under pressure here. He turns it across the nose. A bit of a lag spike there, so really difficult to race these guys when it's like this. But he manages to survive for another day. Trying to check through because Adam Foster's looking pretty close to Samuel there. Samuel's got a big gap back to, or from Andrew, who's doing a sterling race in 4th position. He's 9 seconds clear of Samuel and 2.9 back from the lead battle. So this is really going to hot up. We'll try and keep on terms with all the battles, but I don't think I'm going to be able to stay in tune with all of them. So this is currently Lloyd Reed, who's been kind of gifted 2nd position after an incident between the two, Matizenko and Jonathan Howless. But he's showing good pace now. Whether he's managed the tyres better in this second part of the race, I'm not sure, but he certainly seems to be on the terms of pace of the 397 and the 60 car. Actually, looking at the lap times, he's actually done a better lap than Jonathan in 3rd position, so he's really cranked up the tempo in this second part. About half second off the ultimate best of Matizenko, but looking like he's pretty consistent. 40 seconds to go, so this may be the last lap Oh no, so they're going to cross the line now. So this will be the last lap after they cross the line. We'll stick with them and then we'll switch back to a couple of battles further behind because there is some really close battles. Look, Wesley Beekhouse going through on Harrison Fulton for 8th position. Adam Foster looking to make a move on Samuel for 5th. Jonathan Lowe just half a second back from Josh Copeland at the minute. So they're your close battles, but we will jump back to this one for now. So Jonathan's off. Jonathan's had an incident and that's allowed Andrew Wellborn through into 3rd position. So again, we missed it. But Jonathan gone from 2nd battling for the lead down to 4th position, and the timer has ticked onto 0. So it will be checkered flag as they cross the line. So that's a disaster for Jonathan. Matty Zenko still under pressure from Lloyd Reed. So Lloyd Reed's having an excellent second part of the race. Andrew Wellborn a little bit further back, but he'll be well pleased with this performance, and it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the second race, whether he's found a bit more pace for qualifying. So this is the last lap then of round 1 at Portimao for the GT3 Sprint Series by Slip and Grip Sim Racing, and this is Matty Zenko in the 397 Porsche versus Lloyd Reed in the 60 Lamborghini. Half a lap to go, if that, so they come down into one of the many tight right-handers. Long corner. Out over the fast crest. The Porsche out of shape, but also the Lamborghini, and this is going to be a drag race to the line. This is really close stuff. A back marker shouldn't get in the way. Oh, there's been contact over the line, but they did finish. I think they've crossed the line. You'll have to tell me. Drama at the last moments of the race here. So the line, you can see the marshal waving at the first line, so they pretty much went across the line. So Lloyd Reed takes the win from Matty Zenko. So they both came across. Whether there'll be some fisticuffs in the paddock afterwards, I'm not so sure, but Lloyd Reed takes that victory away from Matty Zenko after contact pretty much on the line. This is race 2 in the chat. Sorry, all the drama I've forgotten to follow. So Gabriel, right, he did finish 14th. Well done, Gabriel. We had a few gaps. Is it race over? Somebody tell me. It is race over, thanks. There is no indicator on my side of when the race is finished. So let's have a quick look at the session results. Oh, we can't look at the session results for the race for some reason. So there you go. Lloyd Reed, Matty Zenko, Andrew Wellborn, Jonathan Howless, Adam Foster, Samuel Wibberley, Wesley Beekhouse, Harrison Fulton, Josh Copeland, Jonathan Lowe, Sam Wooldridge, Aaron Sterrett, Troy Fry, Gabriel Ogra, Ant Brown, Yuri Van Dongen, Craig Fulton, Marco Koeman, Darren Tickner and Kevin DeHaan. And the last 5 not classified because they did not start. So frantic stuff at the end there. We did lose track of some of the battles due to the drama across the line. We may be able to see a replay. But I think we would have to do that manually. Let's see if we can do a replay. I'm not sure we can. Okay, so at the moment we have to join another server, so we're unable to. No, I think we can. This is not really broadcasting, but we will see if we can just quickly look at the incident at the end. Let's just turn these details off for the overlay. So Kamek X in the chat list, that was race 1. Race 2 will be coming very, very shortly, but we do need to rejoin, and there is a second qualifying session. We're just going to try and load up the game here and just have a look at that last lap incident, which cost Matti Zenko the win. The gap in the end, 0.6 of a second across the line, but they both pretty much went across the line sideways or backwards. Let's have a look. Let's have a look for... Just have to excuse the... Right, okay, so here we go. Right, so here they come round to the final corner. Let's just play that and then we will slow it down. So we can see Lloyd got a really good run onto the start-finish straight, and that causes Matti Zenko to come across to try and defend. Lloyd goes to the inside, but what you can't see on this shot is there's actually another car on the inside. See if we can get a better view. Here you go, there's a car on the inside, and I think that is not the finish line. So Matti coming right across to block. So I don't understand why it showed Troy across the line first, because that Porsche definitely crossed the line first. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. We will have to investigate after the race, because I do need to go and get in the other server. Stick with us, and I will be back very, very shortly. So race one is over for now. This is just a short practice session which will roll into the second qualifying. Race one, really close racing, and an unfortunate incident on the last, well, the last home straight between Matti Zenko and Jonathan across the line. Sorry, Lloyd Reed across the line. Matti and Jonathan had gapped most of the field and then had an incident which dropped them into the clutches of Lloyd Reed, and then a further incident for Jonathan dropped him down to fourth. But yeah, Lloyd Reed and Matti Zenko colliding pretty much across the line. Some stout defending from Matti, and I think unfortunately wasn't quite clear of the front of the Lamborghini and took the nose off, sent himself into a spin and slid across the line. But for some reason on my timing screens, it did have that Lloyd Reed, well, crossed the line in first position, so we'll have to investigate that. I'm sure that's going to be one for the stewards later this evening, or maybe another day this week, because I'm sure the conversations will continue. Yeah, Chris, it's a good turnout this evening. I think we've got 20 cars turned up this evening. Don't think we have 21. Oh, we do now, because we do have a late entrant. So Phil Nauder will join us in race 2. He was too late to sign up for race 1, but we do have him, I'm glad to say, for race 2. So I thought this was meant to be a 10-minute qualifying, but there only appears to be 4 minutes left. So the guys really going to have to get on with this. Pretty much 1 or 2, maybe 3 laps, depending on how they can get round these outlaps, because they're all fighting amongst themselves at the moment to get on terms. We've actually got 22 now on the grid, because we've got Philip. Oh, somebody tell me how to pronounce that. Let's go for Przybylski. No, Przybylski. Tell me if that's anywhere near or totally miles away. I am sorry, Philippe, if that is the case. So we'll keep an eye on him. He's in the lovely liveried 92 Porsche that you can see on your screen right now. And then we've got Matti Zenko in the other Porsche. Then Harrison Fulton in the McLaren. Andrew Wellborn in the Aston Martin. Then Josh Copeland in the Mustang. Yuri Van Dongen in the McLaren. And Brown, see if he can have a better race this time round. Then Adam Foster in the 59 McLaren. And also Darren Tickner in the 59 McLaren. So that's really handy for me. Then we've got Phil Nauder, so he's just joined us in the 60 Lamborghini. There is another 60 Lamborghini in here as well. Gabriel in the Mustang, and then there's the other 60 Lamborghini of Jonathan Lowe, who will be hoping to improve on that race 1. Certainly the second half of the race. First half was stellar. And then Camille. Hang on, we've got 23 in here now. Camille in the 95 McLaren. Then Aaron Sterrett in the 85 pink Lamborghini. Sam Wooldridge again in that lovely Porsche. And Craig Fulton in the Corvette. Marco Koeman in the Lamborghini, followed by Samuel Wibberley in the 95 McLaren. Then Jonathan Hallis in another Lamborghini. Conrad Weldeck, another late joiner. I do believe that puts us, I don't know, is that 23? That is 23. Conrad in another McLaren. Wesley Beekhouse in the pink and white Lamborghini. Lloyd Reed, as we've just seen, and that is your lot. So 23 on the grid. Only 1 minute to go. So right, Andrew Wellborn on pole at the moment with a 1:46.7. See the gaps as they all appear on the start or on the tower. So he currently leads Matti Zenko by 0.4 of a second. That's Harrison Fulton in the gravel. So that is not a good way to end your qualifying when there's only 40 seconds to go. Some of these cars only just putting in their first push laps. So depending on what happens here, we could see a pretty topsy-turvy grid. Andrew Wellborn on his return, putting in a stand. He's lost the car. Andrew will not be improving there, so he's off and into the barriers. Lost the rear wing. So this is now down to Matty Zenko, who's put in a very fast first and very fast second sector. He's currently 7 or 8 tenths up. So he's looking at a 146 flat. And by the time he finishes the last sector, I'd imagine probably a 45, 6 or 7. So we'll see what he does when he comes round. A few of the guys completing their laps but not able to improve. So let's stick with a couple of these. Ant Brown also on a lap. Lloyd Reed goes across the line on a 146.9, which puts him in second position. Let's have a look at this lap from Matty, because we can see it's quick on the splits as he comes down the start-finish straight. Where does it put him? A 145.3. So another half a second there, so that's a good lap. We were looking at about 145 flats for a really, really good lap. Josh Copeland crosses the line for 5th position. And Brown in 6th. Oh, and Brown goes up to 2nd on a 146.6, but it is 1.2 behind the leader, the man on pole position as it stands. So Jonathan Lowe, 1.2 behind Matty, and Ant Brown only 2 hundredths behind. Some of the gaps not really showing there, but you can see on the relatives to the leader, very, very close for 2nd and 3rd position. A couple of movements on there. I'm not sure why it's showing a yellow flag. Who's that? I'm staring at the pits while there's stuff going on, but very difficult without a track map. So Jonathan Howless only 7th this time round, so this is going to be interesting. Everyone's finished their laps that I can see. Craig Fulton yet. He won't be finishing. Okay, so let's have a quick look. So that's going to be Matty Zenko on pole, followed by Jonathan Lowe in 2nd.
And go to the grid for a race start.
Ant Brown on 3rd, then Adam Foster on 4th in the McLaren. Andrew Wellborn, after a promising start to that session, starts 5th, still pretty good. And then Lloyd Reed in 6th position. Jonathan Howless 7th, see if he can recover from there. And then Samuel Wibbly 8th position. Wesley Beekhouse a disappointing 9th after the first qualifying session. Josh Copeland 10th. Harrison Fulton 11th, going off the track into the gravel. And Aaron Sterrett in 12th. Darren Tickner in 13th, and then Sam Wooldridge in 14th. Disappointing from Sam, he'll be hoping to improve. The latecomer Phil Nauder starts 15th with Gabriel Ogre in 16th. Camille Kamick in 17th, followed by Philippe in 18th. Craig Fulton 19th and Yuri van Dongen in 20th. Marco Koeman in the Lamborghini 21st, followed by Conrad Waldeck in 22nd. Troy Fry 23rd. And that rounds up. Bart Tonks was not a qualifier. These cars did not start. So that is your grid for race 2. 5 seconds to go before we start the warm-up. So a short run
lap has started.
A short run down to the start-finish line as we watch all of these cars roll down and take formation, ready to do battle once again in race 2 of round 1 of the GT3 Sprint Series. Okay, then let's try and get a good view for the start. We're looking at Ant Brown in 3rd position, should be in 3rd position in the 60 Lamborghini, closest to us, but very, very close to being out of position with Adam Foster on the other side in the black and orange McLaren.
Green flag.
Here we go then. Oh, and something gone wrong for, I think that was Not sure which Lamborghini that was, but they've dropped right back down. Some of the cars running into the back of them, so that's a disaster. I'm trying to think who it was. We'll have to try and pick up which McLaren that was a little later on, as they all streamed through for the start of this first lap. Doesn't look to be too bad as they all stream back down into the hairpin. Oh, and that's a late sent from the McLaren. Who was that? Looks like he's caused a bit of carnage there. Very difficult to see what's going on with these camera angles. I'm really sorry. Hopefully it will calm down. Oh, and that's Aaron Sterrett losing it in the Lamborghini. So he's lost. Oh, and he's caused carnage there. A few others getting caught up. Jurie Van Dongen and Phil Nauder caught up in that as well. So a bit of carnage in this first race. It looks like we have 28 runners. So we've had some late joiners. No, we don't. Ignore that. Back to the front. Matizenko leads from Ant Brown, half a second in it. And then we've got Andrew Wellborn, Jonathan Howells, Adam Foster, Lloyd Reed, Samuel Whibley, Wesley Beekhouse, Harrison Fulton, Jonathan Lowe, Philip Gabriel, Sam, Darren Tickner, Kamil Kamik, Troy Fry, Craig Fulton, Marco Cumming, Aaron Sterrett, Josh Copeland, Jurie Van Dongen, Phil Nauder, and that is it. Wow. Hopefully this settles down a bit and we can start to understand what we've got. So it looks like we've got a battle for first and second, and then another little battle here for third and fourth between Andrew Wellborn and Jonathan Howells, who's made a much better, well, really good start, because he was down in about 7th, I think, after qualifying. So he's again made a really good start on lap 1. These races 17 minutes to go. They're 20-minute races. Let's have a look, see what battles Harrison Fulton really close to the back of Adam Foster, but not as close as Samuel Whibley is to the back of him. And Samuel Whibley has made a wibbly wobbly, and that has allowed Jonathan Lowe and Wesley Beekhouse through. Wesley again, not a great starting position for him in qualifying 2, so he'll be looking to try and get past the 60 Lamborghini of Jonathan Lowe. A little bit further back than Sam Wooldridge, currently running 12th. Actually, Kamil Kamik alongside. Ooh, a little bit of contact with Gabriel there. Gabriel looks like he's struggling a little bit with internet issues. So Camille through for 14th position. Looks like Troy Fry trying to get in on the action as well. Wesley up into 8th position. I think he just got a couple more positions there because he was fighting a little bit further behind from what I remember. Seeing if we've lost anyone. So Josh Copeland, Aaron Sterrett down 17th, he went off. Josh Copeland in 16th, so he must have missed something from him at the start of the race. There was a lot of incidents going on, and unfortunately these TV cameras aren't the best. They do seem to flick around a lot. He's flashing at the back of Craig Fulton, not wanting to waste any time getting through there. Looks like it's getting close for second, third and fourth though. So this is Ant Brown in the first yellow Lamborghini, followed by Andrew Wellborn in the blue Aston Martin, and then Jonathan Howells in the other identical Lamborghini. We then got another identical Lamborghini behind them. So what could go wrong? Actually, it's not quite identical, is it? Oh, as Jonathan takes a lot of curb to try and get a good run there, but Andrew Wellborn's got a really nice run, it looks, out of the final turn. Can that Aston Martin do anything? Has a look to the inside, but it's just to make Ant aware that he's there and he means business. Trying to offset the lines a little bit. On board with Ant Brown, so let's have a look back at this little battle. So that's Andrew in the blue Aston Martin, and then Jonathan in the yellow Lamborghini appearing from the outside. He's probably going to have a look down the inside of Andrew into the hairpin. Can't get him on the brakes. Andrew's good on the brakes through there. So that's a really close little battle for second, third and fourth. There is another battle currently here for, or side by side between Wesley and Harrison. Looks like Wesley's got through on the McLaren, but not quite done yet. Harrison fights back on the inside. Wesley manages to get a really good run, and that's going to allow Samuel in the black and orange McLaren to come through. And thought we'd had a change of position, but we have not. So this good little battle here between Wesley, who's kind of checked out a little bit, then Harrison and Samuel. Apologies for anyone that's not getting in on the action. Sam Wooldridge really close with Philip here. Sam Wooldridge in the white, blue, orange and purple car, and then Philip in the white and yellow Porsche. So Porsche on Porsche action. There's a bit of change of position here because Lloyd Reed has gone through into fourth position ahead of... Is that correct? I think it is, yeah. So Lloyd Reed in the 60 there, the more yellow of the two Lamborghinis, gone through on Jonathan Howlers. Looks like Jonathan may have made a mistake after that really good start, really promising start, making his way up the order. And that's allowed Andrew Wellborn to escape that little battle of those two Lamborghinis as they go side by side into the hairpin. He's gone for a late move. He's got it stopped though. Gets it on the apex. Good close racing there between the two Lamborghinis, Lloyd Reed and Jonathan, for fourth and fifth position. Cracking stuff in race two here this evening. Matty Zenko still disappearing at the front a little bit. Adam Foster in sixth position, having a really good run as well. He's 10 seconds down on the leader, but 4.2 behind this battle with Jonathan and Lloyd Reed a little further ahead. Wesley Beekhouse, actually, speaking of Adam Foster, is caught right up to the back of Adam and looking likely to make a move. Really good lap times from Wesley at the moment. A little bit quicker than certainly the car in front of him, but a lot of the top five in the 145s. So we've got Ant Brown and Andrew Wellborn struggling in the 46s relatively, and then Lloyd Reed and Jonathan Howlers, who are behind them on the track. So these two Lamborghinis do have the pace to catch back up to second and third. Andrew just dropped back a little bit from Ant Brown on that lap. Looks like he might be struggling with tyres. Matty Zenko being allowed to drive off at the front there. That's Wesley getting really, really close to the back of Adam Foster. Again, check out Adam Foster's stream in the chat if you want to go on board with him. Maybe have both the streams open, because that is looking like it will get quite entertaining. Let's have a look a little bit further back just to keep tabs on what's going on. So this is Troy Fry in the white and red BMW, followed by Josh Copeland, who's in 14th now, so I think he's made maybe a couple of positions. Aaron Sterrett is improving into 11th. So he had that incident on the first, or in one of the first laps. He's up to 11th, so he's going strong now. Troy Fry, and then Josh Copeland, then Marco Camille behind him, and then Gabriel Ogra in 16th. Phil Nauder, we saw him a latecomer in 18th behind Yuri van Dongen, and then Craig Fulton in 19th, followed by his son Harrison Fulton in 20th. And it looks like we may have had a couple of retirements. And Wesley Beekhouse, what has gone on there? Wesley Beekhouse was making his way up the leaderboard, and he's no longer in the server, I don't think. So I think maybe more issues for Wesley, a continuation of the pre-season race we had a few weeks ago. But Ant Brown must have made a mistake, or Andrew's getting on it, because Andrew is right on the back of Ant Brown. Let's go on board with Ant Brown, looking from the rear wing here of the Lamborghini, a little bit out of shape on the exit. Let's see if we can face forwards. A bit of damage on the front of Andrew's Aston there that you can see. And he's going to be coming under pressure at the same time from Lloyd Reed behind him. Really, really close so far, only 8.5 minutes to go. And these three continuing to battle hard and have very close gaps on circuit. Only really Matti Zenko, you can see how far of a gap he's pulled, nearly 4 seconds now on this trailing pack of 3 cars. But this, a really good little battle, fast and close. It'll be interesting to see if Lloyd can do anything about these two, because he's got good one-lap pace. Certainly on the back of Andrew. Andrew just saw him braking a little bit later then. Oh, he's made contact, and that's Andrew gone round. Saw a little bit of contact from Lloyd, and it just turned Andrew around on the exit of the last hairpin, and he's struggling to get off the curb. Oh, that's a nightmare for Andrew. We'll leave him to it. He manages to get it going, choosing the grass. But that's going to cost him loads of positions. That's such a shame for Andrew after his return. A strong first race showing, so that's allowed Ant Brown to breathe a sigh of relief in second position. Matti Zenko disappearing at the front, now a 5-second gap as we wait for Ant Brown. So that's Ant Brown, then followed by Lloyd Reed in that Lamborghini. Then we wait a little bit longer for Adam Foster in the McLaren, then Samuel Wibberley in the other McLaren, and then we'll have Sam Wooldridge with Jonathan Howless really close to him now. So let's have a look at that. So Jonathan, I think that's Sam trying to get through on Jonathan, because Jonathan was part of that battle at the front. So Jonathan dropping back a little bit. Always seem to miss the incidents. It'll be interesting to see if Sam can hang with him, because we know Jonathan's got really, really good pace. But appears to have made maybe a couple of small mistakes which have cost him dearly in both races. Aaron Sterritt quite close to the back of Darren Tickner. These both, so one of them in a Lamborghini, so that's Aaron in the pink Lamborghini, and then Darren in the white and, well, that's not white, is it? Black and orange McLaren. I'm really hoping that there's a few more liveries to choose from soon, because it's quite ridiculous having about 7 cars with the same livery. But anyway, gaps opening up at the front quite significantly now. So where we had a really big battle for second and third has really opened up due to that mistake from, well, the incident between Andrew and Lloyd. So this is Aaron on the back of Darren. Oh, lots more curb there. Oh, nearly goes into the back. He does well to check up and not drive into the back of Darren there. It looked like Darren almost froze in space momentarily. We've also got Josh Copeland, who's behind these two. He's got a great view of this little battle, and he will really want these two to come to blows so he can capitalise and improve on that 12th position as it currently stands. This is actually the closest battle on circuit at the moment. Everything else at least a second and a half, so do not worry, you're not missing anything other than maybe this one. So this is Phil Nauder on board, and then that's Harrison Fulton in front of him, and then Troy Fry in the BMW. So this is a good little battle as well. We'll kind of switch between these two. I'll let you know if anything happens further. Oh! Hold your breath. That was Phil Nauder having to get right on the brakes on the exit of the corner as to not run into the back of Harrison. But he did well there. All three of them survive. Another day of Phil taking a much tighter entry in there, and he might have, I was going to say nearly got up the inside of Harrison, but Harrison obviously got a much better exit. Phil obviously with less experience this evening, but going well as it stands. It's got close again at the front. I'm just going to switch back to this. And also Josh Copeland. Oh, this is close between Aaron Sterrett and... it's too close between Aaron and Darren. Contact between Darren Tickner and Aaron Sterrett. Aaron Sterrett off, damage to the front left of that Lamborghini. Does that tell a story? That is a shame for Aaron. His fan club will not be happy once again. But he's been there or thereabouts today. Had a good little scrap. Close then for third position. Trying to switch between this and Josh Copeland, because Josh Copeland is all over the back of Darren Tickner now after that incident ahead of him. So Josh in 11th. He'll be looking to try and convert that. We saw him, he was in 12th. He's now moved up to 11th. And he'll be aiming for 10th. Let's have a look at this though, because this is really the one that matters at the moment, because this is for second position. So that's Ant Brown in the lead, more black Lamborghini, followed by Lloyd Reed. So let's see if we can jump on board then. Ant Brown tries to go to the inside to try and lose the slipstream, and it looks like it may have worked enough. Lloyd later on the brakes gets a better apex, and that's Ant Brown is wide then. Stays wide. Can he switch back? Will jump off board. Tries to go round the outside, so that's Ant Brown, and Ant Brown loses the rear a bit, and that's really cost him. So Lloyd Reed into second position and manages to gap Ant Brown by about a second after that little mistake from Ant. Both of these cars now 7, nearly 8 seconds behind the leader. So we think he's home and dry, and that could be the final podium positions decided. Adam Foster a little bit further back in 4th, then Samuel Wibberley in 5th position, then Jonathan in 6th, Sam Waldridge in 7th, and then Andrew recovering from that earlier incident in 8th position, then Philip in 9th, good showing from him, joining for the second race, and then Darren Tickner and Josh Copeland. This battle still rages on. See how close we can get to the back of that McLaren. Oh, and that looks like Andrew had an incident further up. That Aston Martin, just in the distance you can see, was fully in strife when we got to the apex of that last complex. Josh right up behind and has to check up on the brakes so he doesn't run into the back. We've got a great view of the gearbox. Josh won't be able to see a single thing. And he tries a late apex. He's going to get a good exit, but it's going to put him on the outside for this final turn. He tries to hang it around the outside. He's going to have a drag race down the start finish. There's only 5 seconds to go, so this will be... Matty Zenko has gone across the line, so this will be 1 lap to go. Contact over the fast right then. from Josh and Darren. Can he do anything in that slipstream? This is a big old bus, so it needs a hole punching in the air. Darren defends. Josh gets a little twitch mid-corner, can't do anything about it. Darren leaves the door open. Josh says, I'll have a look in there. Can't believe there wasn't contact. That's incredibly close. Really thought we were about to see a car rotating there, but they both get away with it. Just going to quickly look at Samuel. Not quite close enough to Jonathan. Marco very close to Gabriel in these last few positions. Then Troy Fry was quite close to Harrison Fulton. So let's just jump off again. Josh a little bit out of shape there. I'm not sure if there's more damage on the front of that car, but sideways out of the slow left. Right. I think Matty Zenko comes across to finish. He does, and then Lloyd Reed will be second over the line. A big gap back to Ant Brown in third. Good race from Ant in the end. And then Adam Foster, a very good effort for fourth position. Then Jonathan Howless in fifth. Samuel Wibley in sixth. Sam Wooldridge in sixth, not too far behind. Then Philippe coming over the crest in eighth, just ahead of a recovering Andrew Wellborn. So they'll cross the line for eighth and ninth. Close over the line, but he holds it. Then Darren Tinkner and Josh Copeland, as we were watching, can't do anything about it. Aaron Sterrett, Camille, and then Gabriel just managing to fend off Marco. So Camille crosses the line, then Gabriel Ogra takes 14th position, Marco in 15th, Harrison Fulton not far behind in 16th, and then Troy Fry not too far behind either in 17th, and then Yuri Van Dongen 18th. Phil Nauder, after a disappointing race, he was doing well, comes across in 19th, and then Craig Fulton a long way back. Wow, that's another 30 seconds behind, so he's a long way back, and he is the final car on the circuit, so we'll just watch Craig as he comes around. So we won't look at the results on there because it doesn't work. But excellent race, less incident packed race 2 than race 1, but again really good racing. Dominant show from Matty Zenko. Even in race 1 we'll have to have a look at who exactly won that, because for some reason on the timing screens it did say that I think it was Lloyd Reed won the race, and then again in race 2, dominant performance, Lloyd Reed a little further behind. I'm not sure why our current screens say 0.6, so there's maybe something going on with the timing in the game that's not reflective of the actual finishing positions. So yeah, excellent racing, a good first round for the sprint series. Thanks very much for joining us in the chat. If there's anything we need to do better, just let us know. We are limited with the tools we've got here. It is quite a raw game at the moment. We do have limited broadcast tools, and some of it just isn't fantastic. But we'll try our best to see if we can come up with any solutions to any issues. Yeah, let us know what you would like to see. We will not be streaming next week, unfortunately, but the round 3 we will. So join us in 2 weeks. Hopefully myself and maybe another co-commentator. We can only hope, so it's not just myself who has to bore you to death. But thanks very much for joining us once again. Check out the channel, subscribe if you can, so you'll get any notifications for any other races we're doing that happen to be broadcast. And we always try to schedule the live streams. So if there's one you see, you can sign up and have a go yourself and then watch it back at work. Because, you know, that's what you do at work, isn't it, in your tea break? Anyway, thanks very much, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Cheers, bye.